Welcome to Carrion Creature Feature. I'm your host, Carrion, and tonight I have a twisted tale of rebellious young teenagers and an aquatic horror. Put on your swimmies and remember no running in the pool area. I present Tempest Peak.
The night was warm and humid, the kind of evening that lured us out of our homes and into the embrace of adventure. The moon hung high, casting a silvery glow on the lively water park that had been the heart of our town for generations. The laughter of children and the echoes of splashes filled the air during the day, but as the sun set, the water park transformed into a different realm, a playground for teenagers who sought thrills beyond the daylight. My heart raced as I stood outside the gates, my friends beside me. There was Alex, the adventurous daredevil, Emily, the shy bookworm, Mark, the funny guy who could always lighten the mood, and Sarah, my closest friend since childhood. Our lives were on the brink of adulthood, and this night was meant to be a blast before the end of summer and the start of our senior year. With a shared sense of rebellion, we had decided to sneak into the water park after hours, a daring escapade that promised excitement and unforgettable memories. As we slipped through the chain-link fence that separated the water park from the outside world, a rush of excitement coursed through us. Our flashlights cut through the darkness as we navigated the familiar pathways that had once been bustling with families. The empty slides and pools took on an eerie beauty in the moonlight, a contrast to the vibrant scenes during the day. We laughed nervously as we approached Tempest Peak, one of the park's main attractions. A massive, twisting beast that promised an exhilarating ride into the unknown. I could feel the energy in the group as we looked up to the spiral shape disappearing into the inky blackness above. We climbed the stairs to the slide's entrance, the creaking of metal beneath our feet amplifying the tension in the air. We stopped at the top to take a moment to survey the water park below. I could see Alex's blue Honda Civic in the parking lot, and an ominous swamp nestled next to the main road and the park itself.
Are we sure about this?
Emily's voice wavered as she looked down the slide, uncertainty etched on her face. Alex grinned, his eyes glinting mischievously. Come on, Em, where's your sense of adventure? With a shared glance, we chuckled nervously and shuffled into line, one after the other. I was in the middle, Sarah ahead of me, Mark behind, and Alex to come last once we were all down. The wait seemed to stretch on forever, our excitement growing with each passing minute. Finally, it was my turn. I sat down on the slick surface and pushed off, hurtling into the darkness. For a moment, I was weightless, the rush of the wind drowning out all other sound. The slide twisted and turned, the sensation both thrilling and disorienting. And then, with a suddenness that stole my breath, I was launched into the air, hurtling towards the pool below. Panic surged through me as I saw the water approaching, but my fears were silenced by a sight that froze my blood. The pool was no longer empty. It seethed with movement, the water churning as if alive. A creature, a monstrous aquatic beast thrashed within. Its body was an amalgamation of nightmare, scales gleaming wetly, eyes that glowed like burning coals, and a gaping maw filled with rows of razor-sharp teeth. Panic surged through me as I reached for the sides of the slide, desperate to slow down. The world became a blur as I fought against my momentum, my fingernails scraping against the slide's surface. Adrenaline fueled my strength, and with a final, desperate push, I managed to slow myself down enough to avoid being launched into the pool. My heart pounded as I watched Sarah plunge into the water with a scream that was abruptly cut off. The pool erupted in a frenzy of splashes and roiling waves. The thrashing below the surface intensified, with the water turning a deep crimson. Horror-stricken, I turned to Mark, who was only a few feet behind me. His eyes were wide with terror as he fought against the slide, his fingernails scraping against the slippery plastic as he struggled to slow down. "Stop! Stop!" he cried out, his voice quivering with fear. But it was too late. Mark's momentum was unstoppable, and I watched in terror as he hurtled past me and vanished into the pool below. The water erupted once more, and this time I saw the creature breach the surface. A writhing tentacle nightmare that dragged Mark beneath the waves. Tears blurred my vision as I clung to the slide, paralyzed by fear and shock. I heard Emily's horrified gasp from above, and then her slide creaked as she inched back. I couldn't blame her. The sight of what had just transpired was beyond comprehension. The pool below had become a death trap, a hunting ground for a creature straight out of nightmares. Time seemed to stretch as I hung there, the seconds ticking away in agonizing slowness as the water from the slide beat against me. Emily's sobs reached my ears, a haunting symphony of grief and terror. And then, with a surge of desperate determination, I started to climb, inch by inch, until I made my way to where Emily sat, with her feet stretched out against the slide's plastic walls. I looked back once more to see Sarah's dismembered arm floating in the pool below, the smartwatch on her wrist lighting up from a missed call. My stomach lurched, and bile reached the back of my throat. Emily let out a soft whimper, her tear-streaked face a mask of horror. "Jen? Emily? Can you hear me? Where are you?" Alex must have seen the horror from above and ran down the length of the slide looking for us. "We're here, Alex!" I yelled out, praying that my words would be heard. "I hear you, Jen. Is Emily with you?" "I'm here, Alex," Emily called out. "Listen, I don't have my phone, but I'm going down to the pool to distract it. When I yell, you two come down the slide and swim for the sides of the pool." Hurry, Alex. I can't hold on for much longer," Emily cried. Emily and I clung to each other. The echoes of my pounding heart resonated in the darkness around us. The chilling water rushed by, and the sound of the vicious creature's growls reverberated from below. "Emily, we need to stay quiet and move when Alex gives the signal," I whispered, my voice shaking. "If that creature hears us, we're done for." Emily nodded, her wide eyes reflecting the terror we both felt. With cautious movements, we inched our way downwards, the slide's twists and turns concealing us from the creature's view. The damp walls were our only shield, and as we held our breaths and willed our bodies to remain as still as possible, our muscles screamed for relief as seconds felt like hours. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, we heard Alex shouting from below. "Go down, now! It's coming to the shallow end of the pool!" Without wasting a moment, Emily and I let go of the slide edges and plummeted to the pool below, the darkness of the slide quickly giving way to the moonlight outside. Then, with intense speed, my body impacted the pool. I fought hard to stop the momentum, flailing my arms wildly in a desperate attempt to stay as far as possible from the creature. I sank under the water, and then came to an abrupt stop, my left foot finding the bottom of the pool and kicking hard against the cold cement. My body rocketed to the surface, only feet away from the deep-end ladder. I swam for it. At the far end of the pool, Alex cursed at the creature, while Emily crested the surface and began swimming towards me. I stopped, reaching my left hand out to her as I held the ladder in my right. Emily's eyes locked onto me, and her face contorted with panic. She began to shout something, but was quickly dragged under the water with an immense force. My heart sank. I stared back at the rippling spot where Emily had just been. Alex, who had been standing nearby, rushed to help Emily, but slipped on the wet concrete, his head striking the ground with a sickening thud. Blood oozed from the wound, staining the poolside tiles. Tears welled in my eyes as I ran over and knelt by Alex's side, his body seizing from the impact, and his eyes rolling into the back of his head. A puddle of urine leaked from his shorts, and his body went limp. He had succumbed to his head trauma, his life extinguished in an instant. Then, a strange disturbance in the water caught my attention. Ripples formed in the darkness, a ghostly dance that seemed to swirl in the viscera that floated in the pool. My heart quickened as I watched the dark, sinuous form rise from the depths, its movements quick and fluid. A tentacle, long and slender, glistening with a slimy sheen. It undulated with an eerie grace as it reached higher into the night. The creature to which this tentacle belonged soon revealed itself. It had a nightmarish, crab-like body, its carapace blending seamlessly with the shadows. Numerous spindly legs protruded from its sides, covered in coarse, bristly hair. These legs moved with an uncanny coordination, allowing the creature to cross the concrete poolside with an eerie silence. My breath caught in my throat as I watched in awe and terror as the tentacle sea creature navigated the poolside with a sinister elegance. With a sudden burst of energy, the creature hoisted itself over a nearby chain-link fence that separated the waterslide area from a dense, murky swamp a few yards away. Its legs clung to the metal links like grotesque hooks, and it pulled itself over with a horrific wet sound that echoed through the night. It disappeared into the inky blackness of the swamp, leaving behind a trail of damp, bloody prints on the concrete. I stood there in the darkness, trembling with a mixture of fear and awe. It was a sight that would haunt my dreams for years to come, a reminder that the darkness held secrets far stranger and more terrifying than I could have ever imagined. In the days that followed, the water park was no longer a symbol of joy and childhood memories. It was a place of tragedy and loss, a dark abyss that had stolen my friends. The investigation yielded no answers, the local police chalking the incident up as an alligator attack. The once inviting water park was now tainted, its neon colors and cheerful decorations a painful reminder of what we had lost. The water park continued to operate during the day, oblivious to the darkness that had unfolded within its depths. The local community seemed to have forgotten the incident, and the water park became a popular destination once more. But for me, the scars of that night remained, a reminder that beneath the surface of the familiar and the ordinary, a world of nightmares could be lurking, waiting to shatter our illusions of safety.
This has been a production of Carrion Creature Feature. If you enjoyed our terrifying tale, be sure to subscribe. Click on the bell to be alerted of our newest audio horror releases. Until next time, be sure to stay out of the water in the dark.